The sun had not fully risen over Dallas, Texas yet. The sky was still soft and pale, a quiet blue stretching over empty streets and still houses. Inside a small apartment kitchen, a woman stood barefoot on the cold tile floor. Her phone was in her hand. She checked her email again. Nothing. No response. No update. No sign. It had been 3 months. 3 months of waiting. 3 months of hoping. 3 months of telling herself, maybe today. On the counter beside her sat a cup of coffee she had made the night before. It was still there, untouched, cold, forgotten, just like the plans she thought would have moved forward by now. She let out a slow breath, and for a moment, everything felt quiet. Not peaceful quiet, but the kind of quiet that makes you wonder if anyone is listening. If you have been praying, and nothing seems to be changing, this prayer is for you. If you feel like life is moving for everyone else, but somehow you are standing still, stay with me, because maybe your story looks different, but the feeling is the same. You are waiting, waiting for an answer that hasn't come, waiting for a door that hasn't opened, waiting for healing that still feels far away, waiting for a relationship to be restored or to finally begin, waiting for something, anything to shift. And the hardest part is not just the waiting. It is the questions that come with it. Did I do something wrong? Did I miss my chance? Is God even hearing me right now? This morning prayer is not just about waiting. It is about understanding what God is doing while you wait. Because even when nothing is visible, something is happening. Even when your life feels paused, heaven is not. So before we go any further, take a moment, just breathe. And if you have not already, subscribe to Graceful Prayers and come back every morning to reset your heart. You do not have to carry this alone. Let's begin. Maybe your story does not look exactly the same, but the feeling feels familiar. Somewhere in Chicago, a man is sitting in his car longer than he needs to. The engine is off. The city is already awake around him, but he is not ready to go inside. Just a few days ago, he walked out of an office he had given years of his life to, with a small box in his hands and no clear plan ahead. He keeps replaying the moment in his head, the meeting, the words, the quiet walk to the elevator. He did everything right. He showed up early. He stayed late. He gave his best. And still, the door closed. And now he is asking a question he never thought he would ask. God, where were you in that moment? In Atlanta, a mother sits in a waiting room that feels colder than it should. Her hands are wrapped tightly together, not because it is cold, but because she is trying to hold herself together. Her phone is in her lap. She is waiting for results, waiting for a call, waiting for one sentence that could change everything. She has been praying every night, every morning, sometimes in whispers, sometimes in tears. But today, heaven feels quiet, and she wonders, God, do you see this? Do you see me right now? Across the country in Los Angeles, a young woman scrolls through her phone, another engagement photo, another wedding announcement, another smiling couple starting a new chapter. She pauses, not because she is not happy for them, but because something inside her feels heavy. She thought her life would look different by now. She thought she would not still be here, waiting, and she catches herself thinking something she does not want to admit. Did I fall behind? You did everything right, but the door still closed. You prayed, but heaven felt distant. You tried to stay strong, but deep down, you are tired. And the truth is, the pain is not just that nothing has happened yet. It is deeper than that. It is the quiet fear that maybe life is moving forward for everyone else. And somehow, you have been left behind. It is watching others step into moments you have been praying for, while you are still standing in the same place. It is waking up and doing your best to stay hopeful, while something inside you feels worn out. And maybe you have not said it out loud. Maybe you have kept smiling, kept showing up, kept telling people, I'm okay. But God sees the part of you that feels stuck, the part that feels unseen, the part that is quietly asking, how much longer? If that is where you are today, then this moment, this prayer is for you. Before we pray, let's slow down for a moment and come back to truth. Not opinions, not fear, not what it feels like today, but truth. Scripture reminds us, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. That means your life is not random. It is not scattered. It is not falling apart without meaning. There is a season, even for this, even for the waiting, even for the uncertainty, even for the moments that do not make sense yet. Another verse says, God works all things together for good for those who love him. Not some things, not only the easy things, all things, the closed doors, the delays, the unexpected turns, even the parts you would never have chosen. God is still working within them. And then there is this quiet reminder. Your days were written before one came to be, before you ever woke up this morning, before that opportunity came, before that door closed, before that waiting began. God already saw this day. He already knew the timing. He already knew the path. So what you are living right now is not outside of his awareness. And maybe it is not outside of his purpose either, because delay is not denial. Just because something has not happened yet does not mean it will never happen. And just because the timeline looks different does not mean the promise has changed. God's timing is not late. It is not rushed. It is not careless. It is intentional. Even when it feels slow, even when it feels quiet, there is a purpose being formed that you may not be able to see yet. So as we move into this prayer, you do not have to understand everything. You do not have to have all the answers. Just bring your heart as it is and trust that God is already here. Let's begin to pray. God, I come to you just as I am. No perfect words, no perfect strength, just an honest heart. Because if I am being real with you, I have been trying to control everything. I have been trying to manage the timing, trying to figure things out on my own, trying to make life move faster, just so I don't have to sit in this waiting anymore. I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I reach for is my phone, checking emails, looking for updates, hoping for a message that changes everything. Sometimes I refresh the screen again and again, as if something will suddenly appear if I just try one more time. And when nothing shows up, I feel it, that quiet drop in my chest, that feeling of, not yet. God, I've been watching other people move forward, scrolling through moments that look like progress, new jobs, new relationships, new beginnings, and without even realizing it, I started comparing their timeline to mine, comparing their progress to my waiting. And somewhere along the way, I stopped resting. I started holding everything tighter, trying harder, thinking more, worrying more, as if my effort could force the right moment to come. But right now, God, I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to carry this pressure, like everything depends on me. So today, I release it. I release the timeline I've been holding on to. I release the need to have everything figured out. I release the fear that if I don't control it, it will all fall apart. Because the truth is, you were never asking me to control it. You were asking me to trust you. So here, in this moment, I loosen my grip. I let go of the pressure. I let go of the comparison. I let go of the constant need to check, to chase, to force. And I choose something different. I choose surrender. Not because everything is clear, but because I know you are. Not because I understand the timing, but because I trust the one who holds it. God, teach my heart to rest again, even when nothing is moving, even when nothing is changing. Help me to be still and know that you are working, even here. God, there is something deeper I need to bring to you. Not the surface thoughts, not the words I say out loud, but the part of me that I don't always show. The disappointment, the kind that doesn't always have words, the kind that sits quietly but weighs heavily. God, I prayed for something and it didn't happen. I believed for something and it didn't come. I trusted that things would turn out a certain way and they didn't. And I told myself I would be okay. I told myself to stay strong, to keep going, to not let it affect me too much. But if I'm honest, it did. It left a mark. There were moments I didn't understand, moments that didn't make sense. Moments that felt like silence, when I was hoping for an answer. And somewhere in that silence, I started to wonder, did I do something wrong? Did I not pray enough? Was my faith not strong enough? And maybe I didn't say it out loud, but I felt it. That quiet thought, maybe I'm just not enough. God, you see that place in me. The part that feels disappointed. The part that feels confused. The part that feels a little broken, even if I try to hide it. So today, I bring it to you. Not cleaned up, not fixed. Just real. Heal the disappointment I don't talk about. Heal the moments that still linger in my mind. The ones I thought I had moved past, but somehow still affect me. Heal the silence that made me question you. The silence that made me feel like I was alone. The silence that made me wonder if you were still listening. God, I don't want to carry that weight anymore. I don't want to build my life around what didn't happen. I don't want to let unanswered prayers turn into quiet distance between me and you. So meet me here, right in the middle of what I don't understand. Remind my heart that just because I didn't see an answer doesn't mean you weren't there. Remind me that silence does not mean absence, and help me believe again, not in a perfect way, not in a strong way, but in a real way, a steady way, a way that says, even here, even now, I still trust you. God, right here, in the middle of this waiting, I ask for something I have been missing. Peace. Not the kind of peace that comes when everything is solved, not the kind that only shows up when answers finally arrive, but the kind of peace that stays, even when nothing has changed yet. Because the truth is, this waiting has been heavy. There are moments when I sit alone in my car after a long day. The engine is off. The world keeps moving around me, but I just sit there for a few extra minutes. Not because I have somewhere to go, but because I don't have the energy to move. And in that quiet, my thoughts get loud. Questions, what ifs, worries about tomorrow. At night, when everything is supposed to slow down, I lie there, staring at the ceiling. The room is dark, the house is still, but my mind won't rest. I replay conversations. I think about things I cannot control. I wonder how long this season will last. And then there are mornings like this one. A quiet kitchen before sunrise. Soft light coming through the window. A moment that should feel peaceful. But inside, there is tension. God, you see all of it. You see the moments no one else notices. The quiet struggles. The hidden stress. The way I carry things silently, just trying to hold it together. So today, I ask you to meet me here. Not at the end of this journey. Not after everything is fixed. But right here, in the middle of it. Give me peace that does not depend on answers. Peace that does not wait for clarity. Peace that is not shaken by delay. Because I am beginning to understand, peace does not come when everything makes sense. It comes when I trust that you are still working, even when I cannot see it. So calm my thoughts. Slow down the rush inside my mind. Quiet the fear that keeps asking, what if nothing changes? Replace it with a steady reminder that you are here, that you are present, that you have not stepped away from my story. Even in the silence, you are working. Even in the stillness, you are moving. And I don't need to rush ahead if I am already in your hands. So today, I choose to rest, not because everything is easy, but because I trust you are in control. And that is enough. God, there is something I am still learning. How to believe when I cannot see anything changing. Because it is easier to trust you when doors are opening. It is easier to believe when answers are clear. But right now, this is different. This is the kind of season where everything feels still, and I don't always know what to do with that. So today, God, I ask you to grow something in me that does not depend on what I see. Faith, not loud faith, not perfect faith, but steady faith. The kind that stays, even when nothing around me moves. Even when I don't see it, you are working. Even when nothing changes, you are not absent. Even when I feel forgotten, you still remember me. God, help me hold on to that truth, because sometimes I measure everything by what is visible. If something is happening, I feel secure. If nothing is happening, I start to doubt. But your work is not always visible. You are doing things I cannot track. You are aligning things I cannot reach. You are preparing things I cannot yet understand. And just because I cannot see it does not mean it is not real. So shift my perspective. Help me stop looking only at what is in front of me. and start trusting what is beyond me. Because maybe this waiting season is not empty. Maybe it is not wasted. Maybe it is training my patience, training my trust, training my heart to rely on you, not just when life is easy, but when it is uncertain. God, I don't want a faith that only works when everything is clear. I want a faith that stands, even in the unknown, a faith that breathes, even in the silence, a faith that says, I don't understand this moment, but I still trust the one who holds it. So strengthen me, not by changing everything around me, but by anchoring something within me. Let my faith grow quietly, deep, rooted, unshaken by what I cannot see, because even here, even now, you are still working, and that is enough for me to keep going. God, there's another weight I've been carrying, and sometimes I don't even realize how heavy it is. Comparison. It shows up so quietly. I open my phone for just a moment, and suddenly I'm looking at someone else's life. A promotion, a new house, a relationship that looks happy and complete, photos filled with smiles, milestones, moments that look like progress. And without meaning to, something shifts inside me. I start measuring where I am against where they are, what I have against what they've already received. And slowly, that quiet comparison turns into pressure. Pressure to catch up, pressure to figure things out faster, pressure to not feel like I'm falling behind. God, you see how easy it is to slip into that, especially in a world that never stops showing what everyone else is doing, where every scroll becomes a reminder of what I don't have yet. And if I'm not careful, I start believing something that isn't true, that I'm late, that I missed something, that I should be further by now. But today, God, I don't want to live under that weight anymore. Break the habit of comparing my life to others. Break the cycle of looking outward and forgetting what you are doing within me, because my story was never meant to look like theirs. My timeline was never meant to match theirs, and what you are building in me cannot be measured by what I see on a screen. So remind me, my story is not behind. It's just different. Different timing, different path, different purpose, and that does not make it less valuable. God, help me celebrate others without questioning my own journey. Help me find contentment right where I am, even if it doesn't look impressive, even if it doesn't feel complete, because you are still writing my story, even in the quiet chapters, even in the slow seasons. Nothing is missing. Nothing is forgotten. Nothing is out of place. So today, I turn my focus back to you, not to what others are doing, but to what you are doing in me. And I choose to trust that my life is unfolding exactly as it should. God, as this moment comes together, I bring everything back to one place, your timing, because if I'm honest, this is where I've struggled the most, not just with what is happening, but with when it is happening. I've asked you why things feel slow, why doors take so long to open, why answers don't come when I expect them to. And sometimes I've felt like I was running out of time. But today, God, I choose to see this differently. Delay is not denial. Just because something has not happened yet does not mean it has been taken away. Just because I cannot see the outcome does not mean the promise is gone. So quiet that fear in me, the one that keeps saying, it's too late, because your timing is not late. You are not rushing. You are not behind. You are not trying to catch up to anything. You are steady, intentional, perfect in every moment. And if something has not happened yet, maybe it is because it is not time yet. Not because you forgot, not because you overlooked me, but because you are still preparing something that I cannot fully see. So help me trust that. Help me believe that what you are doing behind the scenes matters just as much as what I can see in front of me. Because nothing in my life is wasted. Not the waiting, not the setbacks, not the moments that felt like loss. You are able to use all of it. Every delay, every detour, every season that didn't make sense at the time, you can turn it into something meaningful. So today, God, I release the fear of being late. I release the pressure of trying to force things to happen. And I choose to rest in this truth, that your timing is not something I have to fight against. It is something I can trust, even when I don't understand it. even when it feels slow, even when it stretches me. You are still leading, you are still guiding, you are still writing something good in my life, and I don't need to rush ahead if I am already walking with you. Now, take a quiet breath. Let this moment settle in your heart, and if you can, say these words with me. Not perfectly, not loudly, just honestly. I trust God's timing, even when I don't understand it. I trust God's timing, even when nothing seems to be moving. I trust God's timing. My waiting season has purpose. This moment is not empty. This season is not wasted. Something is being formed in me. Even now, I am not forgotten. God sees me. God knows where I am. God has not passed me by. I trust what I cannot see yet. I believe what I cannot hold yet. I choose peace, even before the answer comes. Let that settle in your spirit. Let it become steady inside you. And if this is your prayer today, type these words in the comments. I trust God's timing, not just as a phrase, but as a decision, a quiet decision to keep believing right where you are. If this prayer spoke to your heart, stay with us. Let this not be just one moment, but the beginning of something steady, a rhythm, a quiet place you return to again and again, because you don't have to go through this season alone, not in the waiting, not in the questions, not in the days that feel uncertain. So if you haven't already, subscribe to Graceful Prayers and come back tomorrow morning. Start your day here with peace, with truth, with a reminder that God is still with you. No matter how your situation looks right now, you are not alone in this journey. God is with you. He sees you. He is working, even now. And one day, you will look back on this season and realize you were never standing still. You were being led the whole time. Rest in that tonight. And we'll be here again tomorrow.